What is up, all my horror fans and convention goers? This is another horror convention recap video. This one is for the PA Horror Con. This was the very first one that they put back in August 21st through the 22nd, 2021. It was the first PA Horror Con in existence in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It was a small show. That was basically the biggest complaint I had. The hotel, very small. It was under construction, so it wasn't nothing nice to see, and it was, narrow hallways and all kinds of stuff like that. And there was literally even guests in hallways, not in actual rooms. But, we'll let it slide because it's the first one. But overall, the guests were all really nice. COVID was still going on, so there were a few problems there with plexiglass photo ops and guests wearing masks, but I didn't run into that. I didn't have any pro photos to worry about, and I think I only had like 4 or 5 celebrities to meet there. So, but even then, I did witness a few things. We'll get into that in a little while. But I'd say for a first time convention, I'd say they did a pretty good job overall. They just need to grow. That's pretty much it. The show will get bigger and bigger each one they do. They'll start filling in the vendor room. That seemed to be the biggest problem. There was some really awesome vendors there and some stuff that I don't see at some of the other conventions, which is nice. But even the one vendor room wasn't full. Probably I wouldn't even say it was 3/4 of the way full. So plenty of room. Even though the hotel is small, it's fine for that convention at that size. Maybe down the line they'll run into a problem, but there's still room to grow even if they do stay at that convention. So COVID, they had a couple guests that were wearing masks and would not take them down. Others were wearing them but would take them down for the photo with you at the table. There was rumors that there was plexiglass at some of the pro photos. I didn't have any or witness it, so I can't speak on it. And then there was people that were taking it to the extremes. And that was Judy Aronson from Friday the 13th. I've met her before, really nice lady, and this is way back 10 years ago probably. But this time my girlfriend needed her, and sure enough, she was not only wearing a mask, but she was also social distancing and table photos social distancing. So she had 2 tables in front of her. So you were 2 tables away from her at all times, like 6 feet plus. And then when you paid for the table photo, which she was charging for, she would basically stand behind that back table, and you had to stand in front of the front table 2 tables away and take a selfie. So it just really looked awkward, and because it was a charge, sure enough, my girlfriend decided not to and only paid for the auto to get her on her nice Friday the 13th piece that she's been adding people on. But that was just the one. I had 2. But we'll save that for when I talk about them individually. So first up on the guest that I met was Scout Taylor Compton. I've only been waiting for her for my entire convention career. 10, 12 years I've been waiting for her. I've been begging for her to come to Monster Mania. I don't know why she never gets brought back. I did ask her about it and got a pretty funny answer of, yeah, I would love to go back, and I don't know why they don't call me back. So I believe there's something there behind the scenes that we aren't told about. But PA Horror Con managed to get her on their very first con, so I appreciate that. Scout was very nice, very humble, very easy on the eyes. She was in the movies, but I ain't seen her in a while. She really liked my poster. She spent the time to try to figure out who I had on there, all the other signatures that were on there. I explained that I had been waiting 12 years to meet her, and that the night before the con, I watched the Runaways movie, just to, make sure there wasn't a movie of hers that I hadn't seen, and like a diamond in the rough kind of movie. So she signed my item, the quote and everything, no problems there. Got pictures of her signing it, wearing the mask, and then it came time to take the photo with her, and of course she did not remove the mask. That was the downfall. So hopefully I'll get to catch her again sometime in the future and get it, a picture with her, normal picture, no mask, and then I'll have my Scout Taylor Compton, bucket list crossed off, but the picture still looks really nice. All right, next up we have Eric Roberts. He signed my Dark Knight poster. He was a really nice guy, funny, real humble, real talkative, but he was kind of a diva. And what I mean by that is, like, with the picture taking, like, we are like, oh, hey, is it okay if I take a picture while you're signing it? And he was like, no, like, you have to, let me know, and I'll take one at the end, and we'll, like, I'll fake like I'm signing it. And it was kind of weird, but then, like, when we got to that point, it was almost like, he wanted to always be posing. He didn't want to be caught off guard or maybe with a weird face. And then we noticed that when he signs, like, he kind of concentrates and does the, like, tongue out thing. He sticks his tongue out a little bit. So I'm thinking that might be it. Is that, because he does little weird things when he's signing it, and he's got little quirks like that with sticking the tongue out. He doesn't want to get caught in the photo like that. So then he poses really nice at the end, and it looks amazing. So can't fault him for that. But then also when it comes time to take a picture with him, he literally has to be the one holding the camera. It has to be a selfie. And as you see, or we'll see with the photo, it's up close and personal with him. And even with COVID, he doesn't mind at all. So it was a pretty good, fun experience with Eric Roberts. I would definitely recommend meeting him if he's at a con that you're going to. Next up, we have Tyler Main. This was a pretty short and sweet and simple meet with him. I've met him before. And I got several things signed. This time I just needed him on my Michael Myers custom. Didn't need a picture with him because he was charging, and I've already got one with him before. He did keep his mask on at all times, did never take it off. He did like the print and my idea of only having people that have played Michael sign it. So I appreciated that feedback. But like I said, real short and sweet. All right, and the last celebrity meet is Damian Maffei, or Maffei. He plays the Potato Sack Head guy in the Strangers sequel. That's what I call him anyway, but he's the guy with the mask on, killer. He's a really nice guy. He didn't charge extra for an 11x17 off of his table, which almost every celebrity I've ever met charges at least $10 extra for that. So that was pretty cool of him. And the way he signed was really neat too. He was kind of a little all over the place with his focus. I don't know if that's a quirk or an ADHD type thing, but he was like all over looking at people while like I'm actually standing in front of him meeting him. He would like stop and talk to other people like that came up while it's my turn to meet him. So it was a little weird. He's probably new to convention. So overall, a good meet. And that's it, guys. That is the full recap. Again, the vendor area was very small. They didn't have like a print or movie poster person. They did have a good selection of horror stuff like shirts and jewelry. They had, I saw hot sauces, which is kind of new and cool. They had some cool vintage booths, which is really nice to see. It was just very, very small. Like I said, it was a small room, and even the room wasn't filled. So there was way more vendors that could have been there. They also had people and vendors, in the hallways, which is kind of weird and compacted and tight. So just overall organizational, spreading things out a little more, get some more vendors in there, and this con will grow and be even more awesome. I mean, I had a good time. There's just not a lot to do. I couldn't imagine like having a whole weekend pass. We were just there for one day, and literally from the time I walked in to going to my car to go home, it was 2 hours. Literally 2 hours. Usually I'll spend that in 1 or 2 lines. I was done the whole walk through, meeting the 4 people, getting my photos and everything, and leaving in 2 hours. So I'd hate for anybody that bought a weekend pass and went and was over and done like that and had still 2 more days left. So, but New Jersey Horror Con and PA Horror Con are new. They're expanding. This was the first PA Horror Con, so I'm willing to bet that down the line this thing will grow, fill in, and become another great convention. Like I said, there wasn't really any negatives about the con, the staff, the celebrities, the vendors, anything. It was just too small, too spread out, needs to grow. So that's it, guys. PA Horror Con recap is over.